Hey, good morning, everyone. It's V and Cowboy. We are rocking it out over here on the Algo Factory Free Lab. Look, here's the deal. If you're listening to us on YouTube, look at Algo Factory as your pathway, your journey to financial independence, your journey to making a positive impact on your bottom line, your journey in radically impacting your life in a very positive way, financially speaking. Because if you stick with us, my friends, you will be put in a position where you could fire your boss one day. And that's the type of reality that we're talking about. So this is the free lab. Kick back, relax, watch us operate, watch the professor, Cowboy himself, break it down for you guys. And look, don't sit idly by. Don't sit on the fence wondering, should I try this or not? Listen, you try ice cream, right? You try whether you like Rocky Road or not. Algo Factory, this is one of the few exploits you have as an American citizen to learn something new without spending tens of thousands of dollars doing it, and to do it rapidly. So without further ado, Cowboy, good morning. Let's get into it.
Yeah, and just for anybody who might be new to the YouTube, to our YouTube channel, this we do every day at 8:30 EST, and this is a free for beginners. It's about 30 minutes long. Just a couple things. First of all, we don't dispense investment advice. So this is all education and entertainment. So talk to your licensed advisor before you go and trade and risk money on markets, because you can lose money. It is risky. Secondly, this is it's fed me for years. I was one of the people who was able to quit their job, and I actually quit it relatively quickly. I started trading in 2010, but it was kind of a low level deal. I wasn't putting a whole bunch of money in, but I was trading silver on margin. And then I jumped into crypto in 2017, and crypto took a while to take off. It wasn't like I could quit my job right away, but I really put my nose to the grindstone, and I also kind of hit crypto right at the right time. So I was able to quit my job after a while. But there are many who actually don't quit their job. They might like their job. They might make enough money to where it doesn't make sense to quit their job. So it's for some people, you can do this part-time, and a lot of people do throughout their entire career of trading. They do it for 2-3 hours a day at the most. So it's not like you need to be stuck in front of the screen. Also know that we don't just work with certain markets. What we do is we build algorithms based on the candlestick, the Japanese candlestick, type chart. And pretty much any market trades on that. So, we kind of focus a little on Forex and cryptocurrency, but I also trade small cap stocks. It's really easy for me to trade like indexes, like the S&P 500, the Dow. I can trade ETFs, like anything that has a candlestick. Our education works for that kind of thing. Third or fourthly, please hit the like button. Help the algos spread us around. That's something that helps us out. And fifthly, this is a marathon, not a sprint. So it's something that you don't get rich right away doing. You're gonna have to study for a bit. So we want to make sure that you understand you're not just going to get rich overnight. Not a get rich quick scheme. Anybody who tries to sell you a get rich quick scheme is trying to rip you off. We got Jay Martin and Valley Girl over in the comments. Jay said in Central Asia. He's saying, V, I'm in Central Asia, 80 degrees. Yeah, Central Asia. So I wonder what's Central Asia, V? Is that like is it the Middle East or?
Central Asia would be the Caucasus.
The Caucasus. Well,
that's where the stands would be.
I've heard is a beautiful place.
Yeah, man. Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan.
Is Georgia considered central?
Georgia, Central Europe. Eastern Europe, excuse me.
Got you. So yeah, Central Asia is a little more east of there, right?
Yeah, it'd be like closer to it's like
you said, the stands.
The bologna between the bread that is Russia and China.
Gotcha. Yeah, I bet you that's a well-kept secret. That's a well-kept secret. So a lot of traditional people out there, You know, probably a lot of beautiful women that understand the value of family.
You mean, yes, they don't have pronouns on there.
No, yeah, they do. It's just the ones that they started with. Well, that's all right. We don't get political on the show. Here's the thing about markets. The markets don't care
He's in
about that
Kyrgyzstan.
stuff. Kyrgyzstan, okay. So massive oil country, from what I remember correctly.
That in uranium, I believe.
Yeah, oh, uranium, dude. What a great market to be in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and put our URL up there. So if you're kind of new, you know, go ahead and check out the URL. And that's, you should type that in, or I'm going to kind of flash back and forth here. If you are looking at a screen and you have your cell phone, you can go ahead and zap this QR code right there, and that'll take you straight to our website. We are priced for the common person, right? The services that are like ours are worth about $300 a month, and I don't know that we're ever going to charge that much without adding a whole bunch of stuff and having different tiers. However, I don't think we're going to be able to keep the price at $49.99 and keep the doors open. So understand that we are going to raise the price. However, if you are with us before we raise the price, then you will be able to keep that price for this tier of service. We'll grandfather you in. So if you are going to be with us, stick with us, so that way you don't end up kind of left out with the well-priced. In fact, I got lucky with that, man. I got a service that's a trading data service like just 3 weeks ago. I was just on Twitter, crypto Twitter, kind of tooling around, talking to all the people, and I found this really great service that has Forex data for like $8 a month. I'm like, dude, this is worth $50 a month. What's going on here? And I looked at their numbers and I gave them a shot. And within 2 weeks, they're like, yeah, okay, so this service is usually $50 a month, and we're going to raise it up to 50. But if you got in for $8, you're in. And so now I've got that thing for my lifetime at $8 a month, dude. So that's, that's like, man, that's so cool, because that's what we're doing, you know? But yeah, go ahead, head over there, see what we do. We got Jay Martin telling us a little bit more. He says they speak mostly Russian and local Kyrgyzstan language. Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to speak English out there.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't expect that. So V, today is interesting. Do you want to plug what you have going on a little bit later, or you want to just get in the markets?
Well, yeah, I'll just get this out of the way real quick. Look, we're doing the Strategic Life Seminar. If you guys are interested, you can, if you're in the Rogue News Discord, you can go there and sign up, or just go to the Rogue News YouTube channel or the Rogue channel.
The Rumble
channel. Yeah. And there's if you could drop the link in here, you could sign up for it. You could donate what you feel, what you would like to, donate, and then be part of the Strategic Life Seminar. And, that's going to be today at 11 a.m. John Singleton and I will be running the gambit of everything from banking, taxes, compliance, asset protection, business opportunities. It's going to be pretty awesome. It's going to be lit. So
look, I've been following, Singleton since, like, you guys were, he was calling himself X.
Yep.
And I've talked to him personally.
That was his Black Nation of Islam face. He was
Oh, God. That's so funny. I'm not. Where's that announcement? I'm looking for the for that page on the site. Announcement, Civic Center, giveaway, chat. Isn't that so funny? It's like not on there. Let me type this in. Okay, here it is. I'm gonna go to click the link below. What's that?
I got it. All right, I'll give it to you.
I got it
in there. You got it. Okay, cool.
Put the link in there. That's the PayPal that I just put on there if you want to donate. And let me tell you, I'd say it's worth at least $50 personally. And then there's the Telegram to join once you've donated. Okay. So that's the second one is the Telegram. First one, I got it. Cool. I got it. So just go into the comments. I'm not going to put it on the screen, but the PayPal, of course, is for a donation, and then the t.me, that's a Telegram link. So jump on there. It's this guy his information for Oh, just anything. He's really good at talking about how to start a business. He thinks of really good ideas. He's like the, what do you call him? The John Wick
Oh, he
what,
definitely is the John Wick.
like his legal knowledge is something else. Like
Oh,
I said, I've talked to him for
dude,
hours, like at a time, because
he's
you know,
saved thousands of my clients.
yeah,
Thousands of my clients. He's helped
yep.
out.
Oh, he's a badass. So that just
Hmm.
thought we plugged that really quick, and part of the reason we're not jumping into the markets right away is because we just had all the data come out, and we'll take a look at that, and we'll take a look at how that's affected the charts. This, first of all, is kind of a slow week. There's money to be made. I made a little bit yesterday, just kind of scalping. And scalping is where you just kind of do these like quick trades, jump in, jump out. And that's with Tuesday being the 4th of July, most of the money was on the sidelines up until yesterday, and it's just a slow week because of that, right? It's like a 3-day trading week basically. And then we had yesterday. There's OPEC also. OPEC can have a big effect on things, and they're like an all-day meeting. In fact, I'd be staying away from trading the USD CAD or any Canadian pair because OPEC is obviously oil. Canadia's
Canada.
yeah, their economy is very, very largely dependent on oil because they're in the Alberta province. It's just a bunch of oil.
I thought they were dependent upon pronouns.
Oh, there's that too. Yeah, I think our thing
Okay.
about markets is, we tease, but in reality, markets just they don't care about what color your hair is and what gender or whatever pronoun. They don't care. You can be anybody. You can go make money in markets. It's like the most fair thing there ever was. And ultimately, at root, even guys like us, we're actually libertarian at root. So as long as everybody's leaving everybody else alone, we don't really care what you do. And who you touch, whatever. So FOMC meetings they were yesterday at the minutes, I should say, were at noon, and it did move the markets a bit. And whenever you have these kind of red folded events over on this website, I am going to put the link in the description here, in not the description, but the chat. It's forexfactory.com. It's just a tool that I use, and again, it's also on TradingView, which is a software that we use for trading. And TradingView is actually free for the basic, and it's very inexpensive for the not so basic. But it's a great tool that has all this data on it as well. And if you look at the chart here, I'll just skip over them real quick. You see these. Let me go ahead and expand this and zoom. Give me 1 second. It's a really cool tool. I demonstrated this like a week or two ago. If anybody has questions, feel free to ask. I can demonstrate this again, but I'm going to zoom in to make it a little easier to see. And I'm going to expand the screen, and you can see oops, wrong expansion. You can see where those flags are. So this is the EUR-USD chart. So the euro versus the dollar in Forex. And you see there's the American flag and the euro flag. That's when the data is coming out. And you can see right now there's the American flag right there. It's like where all the data is coming out right now. And then if I were to, get into a more granular chart, say instead of a 3-hour, go to a lower time frame where you're kind of zooming in, you'll notice that the flags here, you can see exactly what time they're at. And that's when news comes out. And there tends to be a lot of volatility around that. And I tend to wait for the news to come out and wait for the market jitters to kind of stop. And then I go and trade. We talk about that, almost every show. Some of the data came out. Non-farm employment change was a real banger. Of course, we've been showing you articles where they revise the numbers like a week or two or a month later. So a lot of these numbers, not that it matters whether or not you can trust them, but the market is going to react to them. And that's really what matters. So it's like, okay, we can put on our conspiracy hat and say, well, they manipulate the numbers, and that's probably true. But what really matters is that the number here at 497,000 new jobs that are non-farm, that number is higher than expected. It's like more than twice as high. That's going to be good for the economy, good for the dollar, bad for stocks, right? So, or bad for anything that is not the dollar. So again, here, estimated change in the number of employed people during the previous month, excluding the farming industry and government. Actual is greater than forecast. That's good for the currency, right? So This was about twice as big as forecast, which means it made the dollar stronger. So anything paired with the dollar is going to get weaker, right? So stocks are priced in dollars, equities are priced in dollars. If the dollar gets stronger, then the stock gets weaker, right? So if you're looking at Forex, like we were just looking here at the euro versus the dollar, well, this is the euro in terms of the dollar. And so when that data came out, you can see here that the euro went down. Now, this might be just a temporary reaction. This is a 30-minute chart. Every single one of these candlesticks is 30 minutes of price action, and you can see that the price has gone down relatively significantly from like $1.89 to $1.86. It's 0.5%, and that's actually at one point down to $1.85. So almost 0.5% within an hour. When it comes to currencies moving, that is pretty significant of a move. But you can see here at 4 a.m. that actually pushed up just as much. So, these things happen. A lot of people try to take advantage of the news, but the problem with news is that it is not always predictable. So we got the unemployment claims, which comes out every week, and that was right where it was expected. So probably not a whole lot of effect in the market, certainly not outside of the very short term. And then we have some more data coming out. This is the ISM Services PMI at 8, and what that is, it's the Institute for Supply Management. So it has to do with what it is here. I mean, literally, is the level of diffusion index on surveyed purchasing managers, excluding manufacturing industry, blah, 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 right? So what that really matters is that it's a red high impact event. And you can almost ignore what the data says. I mean, unless you want to get real granular with your data, it's not something I care to do. Unless I'm really doing like a higher level analysis. If I'm just trading though, what I'll do is I'll look at the effect. This is the usual effect. If the number is greater than the forecast, it is good for the currency. So just like the non-farm employment change, if this number is higher than what we're guessing it is, what everybody, whoever puts this data together, guesses, then that means the dollar is probably going to go up. And that happens at 10 a.m. EST. So any trades that one is in right now, which is 8:50 a.m. EST, for the next hour and a half, that trade, in my opinion, is in jeopardy because you have two high impact events coming out. You got job openings and you got PMI. And those numbers, especially with two of them at the same time, if they veer away from whatever is expected, then the price of things can take an unexpected turn and can knock you out of your trade. So what I do is I hang out maybe till 8:15, 8:30. I wait for the price action to calm down. And generally, I wait for price to resume the direction it was going prior to the news. And in this case, it looks like the trend was headed up prior to the news. It doesn't mean that it will resume direction because we're only looking at a 30-minute chart, right? What I'd want to do is take a look, say, at a higher time frame chart, say the 30. Well, I use an algorithm, so I take a look at the algo. But to make it really simple, is that price kind of was bullish. I'd say a kind of leaning bullish on that. Fortunately, I built algorithms to tell me which way price should be going, kind of even, lifetime, if you will. Just because it was bullish the last 4 hours doesn't mean it will be the next 4. And the whole reason that we're here doing Algo Factory is to show you how I actually will build algos to give me that information so that I can forecast. And in this case, I probably would just wait for that data to come out and see what the algo says because price is kind of flat right now. So if I were to go to what is this? That is a 3-hour chart. Price was kind of on a downslope a little bit. See, if I were to draw a trend, and I'm going to get rid of these news events just to clean up the chart a little bit. Price was on more or less of a downtrend, lower highs, lower lows, right? But then price kind of, technically I think this is a lower low, but price did it's slowing down on that. But technically this looks like a bearish type formation. It's not exactly right, but these formations are never exactly right. But I'm looking at, and we're going to get a little into pattern trading here. And this is the EUR-USD. This is the euro priced in terms of the dollar. But essentially, this is this is a reversal pattern, or it could be looked at as such. Usually the triangle that I'm drawing is going to be a continuation pattern, usually, but not always. It's more reliable when it is a continuation pattern, meaning that if price headed down into this pattern, then it would be a continuation. It would be heading in the same direction after it was done with the pattern as it was before. So price heads down, bounces around, and then heads down again. That's continuation. In this case, price headed up into this pattern, right? And now it's bouncing around, right? It's still usable. I haven't tested this pattern on the what do you call it? EURUSD. So I don't know the numbers for it. Give me 1 second. I'm going to fix this screen. I'm going to unshare this for about 10 seconds. Hold on. I got to clean this screen up. All right, we'll get back into what that pattern is. Sorry for the interruption. This will only take a moment. Okay. Go ahead and share screen. Okay, sorry about all that. So in this case, let me draw this out. I'm going to tell a story. We're going to show you what this triangle tells us about price. Okay, so in this case, you have price where you have the bulls and the bears. And what happens at the bottom is the bulls, and what happens at the top is the bears. So the bears push down, the bulls push up, right? And it's kind of like watching a battle in a way, because right now, what you'll notice is that the bulls are kind of holding that same line. They're holding the line while the bears are advancing. The bears are moving farther and farther lower. The bulls keep fighting back, but the bulls are not gaining ground. The bulls are not heading upward, right? So if the bears are advancing and it's coming to a point like this, the bears, once it kind of comes towards the end of this, the bears are just probably going to win because they continue to advance while the bulls don't, and price heads down. That's just generally how this pattern works. Again, like I said before, people tend to trust this pattern more as a continuation. So they want to see price heading down into it and down out of it. Price to continue in the same direction. However, I haven't tested this on the EURUSD. I don't know the numbers, but I can tell you there's a decent chance, even though price headed up into it, this triangle still tells the same story. There's no difference in the story that the triangle tells. So if, in fact, on the higher time frame, a reversal is imminent, if a reversal makes sense, and right now it's kind of flat, so it may or may not make sense, it's kind of a weird time, which is a great time to actually pay attention to these things, then even though price may continue up eventually, right now there's a decent chance that price heads down. And how do we trade this, right? So this is how I trade this, okay? So you have your triangle again, and I use what are called Fibonacci extensions, okay? And now we'll get into some more data. There's a couple of ways to deal with this, but with the triangle I start, well, I'll use the real extension tool. Let's see here. Start at the top, go to the bottom, click again, go back to the top, click again, right? So the Fibonacci numbers, look, there's some reason, no one knows it, but price tends to move towards and bounce off of these Fibonacci numbers. Okay, it's like a magical thing that people theorize. Again, Fibonacci numbers exist in nature. The joints in your fingers are at the 6.18 ratio. It's just something that occurs in nature. So as price breaks out, we might be looking at, if price kind of breaks out, say right here, then the 6.18 might be where it goes to, and then it might even head down. That's the 6.8. Sorry, I meant to say initially the 1272. So the 1272 is a target, 6.8 is a target, And the way to trade this might be, some people enter right away if they're very confident or if they're risky. Others will let price break out, head back up, and then they have their order set and then take their trade. And that's a more conservative way to do it, as a pullback trade. If the market is more energetic, then some people they'll just enter right as soon as it breaks because it might not pull back. But if the market's choppy, and it kind of is, then a pullback is a decent bet. And EURUSD, as a habit, likes to pull back and grab liquidity. That's a very common thing for EURUSD. So now, if that happens, then what I might do is enter right here, and I'll have I'll have my targets down there, and I'll have a stop loss up here somewhere. I'll probably, I'd have to see what price does, but this would be the trade. And that being the case, we're looking at why is this being stupid? We're looking at a 3-to-1, maybe 4-to-1 trade. In this case, it would be something like this. Price breaks down here, comes back up, heads down to targets. It would be, again, we're running out of time, so I don't have necessarily the time to map this out properly, but it probably would end up looking something like this. And then with our Fibonacci tool, it'll look like this. So targets would be, in order to see my stop, I'd have to see where it bounces. If it dug a little deeper in, then I could enter a little bit better. But that's kind of what the trade might look like. And then, of course, what I do is I have another tool that we use that will take a look at this move up. And if you want it, we'll talk about it in the actual Algo Factory that we're about to start. We're going to end this right now. We're going to go into our private group, and then I'm going to use a tool on this impulse up to determine where price is more likely to bounce. So for now, we're going to end it. Again, go over to algofactory.tech, and if you do that, we record our live sessions. You would be able to see the rest of this because I'll post it up later today in our private Telegram group, and you'll be able to see the rest of how I determine this whole thing. So I got the URL up there. I'm going to flash the QR code, and the gorilla is going to give us that send off.
All right, all you folks out there, listen. You've seen just a little inkling, just a little sample of what Cowboy does here and what we bring to the table in algofactory.tech. Listen, don't hesitate. Sign up now. This is the path towards freedom. You grind it out with us here daily. I promise you, you will be in an amazing place down the road. algofactory.tech. Join today. With that being said, Cowboy, let's get into our